Welcome to the first vlog of the 2026 financial year from the team at Seaview Consulting. I'm Paul Wood. We're talking to a lot of businesses at the moment about their desire to grow, build their business, but there's very few businesses who have got surplus capital to this end. So inevitably we talk about different funding mechanisms. The most commonly used one would be the debt funded approach, where funds are borrowed from an institution, and this creates leveraged returns for the business, but it does bring in an element of risk. We are increasingly seeing, though, in circumstances where people selling out of their own businesses are not looking to retire, not looking to take significant amounts of cash off the table, and are looking simply to roll their investment into equity and a larger enterprise. And in those circumstances, or in the circumstances of an external investor being brought in to create a pot of money for acquisition opportunity, then we've got a situation where equity funding is assessed. So using this example here and show how it would work in both circumstances. So we've got business, the existing business is worth 3.75 million. There's an acquisition potentially with 1.25 million sticker price. If this was debt funded, then the debt would simply net away from the value added to the enterprise, so no change for the business principal, 100% ownership still. In the equity funded model, though, the overall enterprise value has increased, but we see through the issue of new shares in lieu of the cash consideration, where the principal of the acquired firm has basically merged in and received, in this case, 333 shares out of a total issue of 13333, leaving in at day one really no change for the existing business principal. However, we've modeled this forward, and just using a growth rate of 5%, a 8% borrowing rate in the instance of the debt funded, we've modeled this forward, and no surprises. What we found is that in devolving equity, in letting somebody else share the returns of your business, then this is a severe handbrake to financial returns, as opposed to simply paying an interest bill to a lender. Now, if this was the end of the story, then it'd be fairly cut and dried. But what we're seeing increasingly is that when making an assessment on a potential merge or acquisition, it's not just about the numbers, it's about a case of saying, well, okay, what intellectual capital are we receiving in this circumstance? What can this business principal bring to our organization? What human capital, what cultural impact, what social impact would that person bring? And what we see is if this translates to a strong growth profile of the business, and we've modeled it here, where it jumps from an equity funded situation from 5% to 7% and even to 8%, then we're actually catching up with and overtaking the financial situation compared to debt funding. So what you've got is potentially the best of both worlds with the right import of skills and intellectual capital. You've got a situation where financially you're not worse off, and you've got a stronger organization and a lower risk balance sheet. So our sort of motto with this is to really get ahead of the curve and understand what the acquisition can bring to you, to fully understand what your own strategic plan is, what your own acquisition parameters are, and to understand that there are options here. There is plenty of hybrid models and choices for you to take, and negotiation positions to hold. So taking advice on this situation, and in general, our support ranges across from helping you understand what your business is worth, helping make decisions, understand your own sort of timelines on business ownership, and helping through the nitty-gritty of actual transactions is what we're here for. If you've got any questions with regards to this presentation, or want to have a coffee at our Campbell office, or have a little catch up online with one of the team, then please jump on our website and fill in the inquiry form, and we'll talk again down the track.